Okay, so I had a good first video. I think I edited it okay. I made some good points. But I can't help but feel, maybe if I recorded my face with a better camera, like I do with my models and lights. Hi, my name's Matt, and welcome to my channel. In this video, I'm going to guide you through how I painted this Novitiate kill team. I break it down into painting sub-assemblies, and I will show you how for just a little bit of extra effort, you can push your paint jobs to beyond tabletop standard. Let's get to the video. So, as I've been talking, you have seen me slowly painting the inside of the cloaks. I work up from a Zandri dust-like yellow-brown to a bone white for the inside of the capes. I want the inside of the capes to have a somewhat clean look to them, and a more worn look for the outside. For the outside, I work up from a dark brown all the way up to a very light, simple pink flesh tone, similar to Bugman's Glow. At each stage, the emphasis is not on getting the cape completely smooth. I'm not worrying hugely about being accurate with my brush, and along the way, I'm adding scratches and dots in order to give the leather a textured appearance, so it seems more realistic. As with all my projects, I always attempt to try something new and different. With the Novitiates, I wanted to see how contrast paint works as a filter over colours. Now, while it doesn't look incredible here, what I would end up realising is that in theory, this filtering process with contrast paint actually does work really well if your blends underneath it are smooth and your gradients are very blended, much finer than what I had done. So, proof of concept for me, but I think a small failure in execution. But with the effort and time you can see that has gone into these cloaks, by adding these small extra details, we are already pushing beyond tabletop for not a huge amount of extra effort. Moving on from this, we're working on the pants. Now, the pants are going to take far less effort for two reasons. The size of them in terms of the overall model is far less, and for some models, one of the legs is hidden under the cloak. So in this way, we're cutting down on the amount of work needed to get them finished. With the pants, I'm going to be working with Scale Artist Tube, the Sweet Dream set, using pastel blue and greens to work up my gradients. So after working my gradients up, I filtered over the pants with blue contrast paint, and this was the result. Now at the time, I was not quite happy with the look, because it was not what I was going for. But as time went by, and as I continued painting them, and looking back on them now, the blue was actually a good choice, because it gives them a nice contrast to stand out on the table. For the faces, I split them into dark and light skin tones, as my novitiates are diverse in their galaxy-spanning space genocide of anything non-human or Imperium. For my black skin tones, what I really like to do is work up with a wash of Rhinox hide over a zenithal and slowly wash more of that Rhinox hide over the darker areas as a means to a quick and effective dark skin tone. For highlights on dark skin tone, I simply add some Bugman's Glow to Rhinox hide, increasing the natural contrast slowly to a point where I am happy with the skin. For my Caucasian skin tone on females, I follow the same recipe as I do for all my female skin tones, and you can find a tutorial to my other skin tone videos linked above. We now move on to the blacks and the armors. I'm simply going to work up from black to light grey with my blacks, using a heavy metal style edge highlighting to bring out the shapes of the armor. Now again, using filtering with black contrast paint, this is where unfortunately even Bob Ross would probably say this was a failure. With the black contrast paint filling over the armor, it basically completely killed all the work I had done except for the edge highlighting. But at this point, I'd already dedicated so much time that I was willing to move on and just accept my losses. Next is the individual pieces that set each of the models apart. And while I won't go through all the different models, I do simply follow my True Metals standard recipe, which is a base coat, a wash, and a highlight to bring out the metals. Everything else is mostly straightforward, using the same techniques I've used on everything else up until this point. Now, the important thing for a kill team or any army band is to have a character piece. For my team, this accidentally ended up being 2, with the Crossbow Sister and the Novitiate Superior. For your character pieces, you want to either put more time into them painting wise, or pick some different colours that will make them stand out. As these are Sisters of Battle, the obvious choice was red. And to be honest, red is my comfort colour and what I'm good at. So I knew these would really stand out against the rest of the team. For the extended paint video, where you can see exactly how I do my reds, you can check the link here. The raised symbol on the back of her cloak was actually a little more tedious for me, as I am not 100% good with non-metallic metal yet, but it was a good challenge to at least attempt it. So that's the models done. These in total took about 2 weeks to finish. That is putting about an hour or 2 on the weekdays and a couple more on the weekends. And as you can see here, I think you'll find that while these aren't at a display level of painting, for a roughly 2 hour per model job, they are a standard that you can achieve and is beyond just tabletop. So thanks for watching. You've reached the end of the video. Don't forget to like, share and subscribe. And what'll we paint next?